And now with me, I have Nicole Johnson, who is the director of Bringing Science Home. Thank you so much for joining us, Nicole.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I have master's degrees in journalism and public health, which is such a cool combination because it marries communication to healthcare, which becomes really speaks to my passion about how we communicate with people about their health conditions, especially people with chronic conditions. And then I have a little other interesting things in my background. I'm a USF alum from my undergraduate days, and I'm in graduate school again here now. And then there's
something that you're not telling us.
I was the first Miss USF. That's something that not many people know, and I became Miss America in 1999, representing diabetes as my platform and issue of cause.
So why were you representing diabetes as your cause?
I chose that because as a student here at USF in 1993, that goes back a little way, I guess. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and actually had to leave school and battled my way back to achieve all of the things that I hope to achieve in life, an education, a career, going to Miss America, and therefore I was advocating for people with diabetes. And now I advocate for people with diabetes and chronic diseases to illustrate that nothing has to hold you back. Anything is possible if we choose to live with an optimistic viewpoint.
Mm-hmm. So when you were going for Miss America, were you ever told that, you couldn't do this because of type 1 diabetes or anything like that?
Indeed, I was. In fact, the first day that I was diagnosed with diabetes, here in the Tampa Bay area, I was told I would never graduate from college, that I would never have a career as a journalist. That was what I was interested in at that time, because journalists don't eat lunch at the same time every day. That's what I was told. I was told I'd never win a competition, much less Miss America, and I'd never become a mother, all because I live with a disease. And thank goodness I was raised as a very stubborn, persistent young woman, because my background and my family urged me to just start pushing the envelope. And that's how all kinds of dreams came true.
So tell us how you are at USF today. You've had your history. You were the first Miss USF, Miss America. You've been advocating for type 1 diabetes for a very long time.
Yeah.
How do you end up here?
Well, I'm a native of this area. I was born and raised here. Once I had my daughter, I moved back to the area and happened to reconnect with some folks here at USF in the development office, and then started to learn about the different interesting things that happen related to diabetes here. And I immediately wanted to jump on board and be a part of it all. And of course, all kinds of things have morphed and changed through time. The extraordinary opportunity to pitch a local foundation for a gift to USF came my way, and today we're making a difference for people not only with type 1 diabetes, but with all kinds of chronic health conditions.
So this local initiative, organization that you started, Bringing Science Home, it seems very, Bringing Science Home, what exactly is this?
Sure. Lots of people ask that question because it sounds medically, but then it doesn't. It's really the translation element, or that communication healthcare marriage. It's how do you help people deal with their health situations, as I like to call them, chronic diseases in particular, when they're not at the doctor's office, when they're at home in their everyday environment, in their own reality, in their how do you help them live their lives and live their lives to the fullest extent? How do you help them find that optimism, that positive viewpoint, and the ability to persevere and to not take negativity and no as an answer in their life prescription, basically?
Mm-hmm. So you'll be focusing on type 1 diabetes, but what other chronic illnesses are you hoping to look at?
We start with diabetes in most everything because that's what I know and that's the community I'm connected to. So that provides extraordinary opportunities for us to reach on a national scale and get feedback and buy-in from national leaders. But we're also looking at asthma, and then we'll begin to look at all kinds of other conditions. We're looking at type 2 diabetes, people that experience problems with their weight, and looking at how we can make an impact with those communities. I think what we'll learn from some of the experiences specifically in diabetes and type 1 with families will then translate into so many other conditions. Our first two focus areas are on college students, number one, because I was diagnosed as a college student, and there's still nothing for college students anywhere, really. So we started an organization called Students with Diabetes, which is so exciting, and it's been around now for about a month. We've had 2 student events here on campus, and now we have 4 other universities who are interested in forming chapters. So that's one of our first areas of focus, is helping with that transition of you learn you have a condition or a disease when you're a young person, and then become an adult, and now what? Who's going to help you figure out how to be an adult? And the answer right now is not many people are going to help you. It's kind of a baptism by fire. You learn it from your friends or what you see online. We want to help be the in-between there. The second area is families. Because what I've learned through my experiences in living with the disease is that everything is targeted to me. My disease, my numbers, my circumstances, but then there's a whole array of people that have been forgotten. I can't succeed with my condition if my parents, my loved ones, my child, my colleagues don't have the resources that they need to help me succeed or to help me live optimistically. And so there are all these waves of other individuals who are impacted that we want to investigate and discover and see how we can help them live better lives too.
Now, do you have any particular term for these family members, these friends, these people in the inner circle?
I do. In diabetes, I'm a type 1. There are people who are type 2s, and those who love or care about those of us who are type 1 or type 2 are type 3s. Because, quite frankly, they live with the condition also. They have the psychological impact, the emotional impact, and oftentimes some physical impact as well. And so we want to address those impacts in those individuals so that we can help everybody live better.
So where do you see your particular organization and the work that you're doing in 2020?
Oh my goodness. You know, the dream would be that diabetes would go away, but that's not realistic. So what I hope is that we will have started right here at USF a national trend of looking at families, of the different ecosystems that surround a person with a disease, and we're caring for the entire unit, every aspect of the individual, every aspect of that world that they live in, that it's personalized, that it meets their needs, that it meets their desires, almost like there are systems that ask questions based on prompts that the individual gives them, of understanding your reality and then prescribing education, information, and treatments based on what your reality is.
Okay, so we have where you want to see your personal organization and your goals in 2020. What about for the university as a whole? Where do you see USF in 2020?
That's so tough. Things have changed so rapidly here at USF in the last couple of decades that I can't even imagine what's going to happen. But I know whatever it is, it's going to be phenomenal, it's going to be awesome, and it's going to blow our minds. I would have never expected the changes that I've seen so far, and I'm so proud to be back here.
Oh, well, we're happy to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
you so much. All right, that was Nicole Johnson. She's the director of Bringing Science Home. If you want to take more of a look at that, you can go to bringingsciencehome.com, right?
Right.
Yes, you can see more online.